You're better off being selective with an audience rather than just getting an audience for the sake of it.
Most people are looking at content in the wrong way.
I believe not enough coaches are prepared to play a long, slow and steady game with their followers.
If you can't build a client base out of 6,000, more followers isn't going to help you.
Maybe it's not all about the followers, eh?
Hello. In this video, we are going to talk to you about why 95% of online coaches are growing their Instagram in the incorrect way.
Hey guys, we're Dan and Mike from Business and Banter, formerly Biceps and Banter, and we're here today to help you with your online fitness business in any way that we can. And today we're going to talk about the incessant desire by coaches to go viral and to grow a huge following, and why it's possibly one of the worst things you can do from your business. And we're going to talk about first-hand experience that we have. I say first-hand, no, it's not. It's second-hand experience through working with clients first-hand. That's because we haven't done it. But I will say is that we have a more profitable business than most of our clients who do have that number of followers. So make of that what you will. Maybe it's not all about the followers, eh? Yeah, we're going to talk about how in 2025, look, we're going to do another video on this separately on what's going to work, but we're certainly going to talk about what's not going to work, which is trying to go viral. And we're going to talk about the mishaps, the issues with that, why that's not always the best thing to do, and actually how it can lead to an Instagram account that may need you to completely reset and start a new one, potentially. Some people are doing nowadays, or having to.
If you like these videos and you want more of this
gold information,
members group information is below in the link. Have a little look. It's our low-cost community group full of online coaches just like yourself trying to grow a business in the right way. Ton of information in there, community forum.
I do want to be really clear as well. It's not just a Facebook group. People keep saying to this, like, I've asked for access for the Facebook group. It's not a Facebook group, right? We're a bit past that. That's like 2015.
Yeah.
More sophisticated, loads better, loads more intuitive, direct access to us. There's no algorithm. You don't lose messages. You don't lose posts. There's no knobs in there. Like, just to be clear.
Yeah. Everything's in there. We've got videos on lead generation, sales, marketing advice, business setup, onboarding, coaching, retention, everything. So I get asked a lot, what's actually in there? And I want to go, fucking read the information.
And I also want to go, it's 99 quid, so just pay it and find out. You're not going to lose out.
There is that where you're like, take a gamble for 99 quid. But that's what's in there. Everything that you need to know to grow your business is literally in there. All of our knowledge. We don't withhold anything back. All we do with our one-to-one clients is we work with them on a basis of communication, teamwork, accountability, bouncing ideas, and finding out what is the best fit.
That sounds like management speak.
Yeah,
that sounds like management speak.
No, hate that.
Hate that. Yeah. So yeah,
you're not looking at the whole pie.
Yeah, and there's no contracts as well, so you can get in. If you don't like it after a month, you can get out. And I mean, that's what people do choose to do because they don't do the work. Funnily enough, no, not that many people actually do. They stick around, which is good, isn't it? It's always good when they stick around. So yeah, no contracts. Might as well get in, have a little look around, ask us any questions. And
there you go. There's a CTA. We're a very good one.
We even do videos around social media and again how to grow properly and what actually to do and why you don't need thousands of followers. So this will be a little bit of an insight into some of those videos.
Yeah. So
it's not what we're going to talk about.
No, it's just I'm just going to set this up. So we've just gotten into 2025. So we're filming this on, I think it's like the 11th or something like that, 11th of January, and you'll see a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of content creators, experts, etc., talking about what's going to work in 2025. What's going to work? And I don't understand that because it's like, what do you mean? What's going to work? What do you mean work? Like, what is the definition behind work? What are you saying? Work as in it's going to work in terms of growing your business or growing your following or what? Like, because those are not necessarily the same thing. So we're always confused because we'll always say the same thing because the same thing does quote unquote work in terms of growing your business and being able to monetize an audience no matter what size that audience is. It's the same stuff. And I think when people kind of get sucked into what's going to work, what's working, what's this, what's trending, what's that, again, it's so short-sighted. And it's just to try to look for quick wins and the quickest hack and the shortcut and what is working and shit. No, tell you what is working every year is consistency, patience, being yourself, putting your opinions out there and literally not giving a toss what anybody else thinks about it. As soon as you start to look at the next coach and the next coach and the next coach and the next coach and the next coach, which everybody does, and you say that you don't, but you do, and you start to make content like that. I quite like that style of content, so I make it like that, make it like this, make it like that. You're foregoing what you should actually be focusing on in your business. So everybody's looking at content. I say everybody. Most people are looking at content in the wrong way. In the wrong way. The amount of people, I just need more followers, but you've got 6,000. You've got 6,000. So if you can't build a client base out of 6,000, more followers isn't going to help you. And if you do get more followers and more people do come into your coaching, if you've been unable to build a business out of 6,000 followers in the past, you will still not build a business out of 60,000 followers. You still won't. People might join, but they'll fucking leave. If you can't build a business out of 6, what's the point going to 60?
Yeah, and I think also the way that they go about getting some of these followers, again, I question a lot of the motives behind content. So for example, a lot of people are just trying to be controversial for the sake of being controversial. So let's use an example of one of our clients that we work with, Steve. I'm sure he won't mind me explaining the situation and kind of what's happened, because I think he's publicly said it on his Instagram anyway. He kind of went through a bit of a phase where he was posting content to just try and wind people up, basically. And those that know Steve Keen, he's called Steve Keen, by the way, not Steve Kraft, for those that are interested. Steve Kraft Coaching. And very, very much like, for me anyway, he was bringing kind of like science-based content into the realms of the normal everyday person could understand. He was doing it in his own unique way, being funny, using props, and really explaining training to people so that they understood some really, really kind of complex things into very, very simple terms, so that they understood what they should worry about or shouldn't worry about. Anyway, grew a large following, got to sort of 500,000 doing that, and was really, really good. And then what happened was he started to make content around like artificial sweeteners and being carnivore and almost just saying stuff because it would drive engagement. And you look at the kind of the comments on the post, for example, and it was all these people that were either arguing one way or the other about being extreme, or sugar's bad for you, or you shouldn't be doing this. And we kind of pulled him up on it, and we just said, look, like, what do you want to be known for? Like, what are you good at? What are your followers there for? And it's like, well, training advice. Science-based training advice. And we're like, so why are you posting about Eddie Abu, and why are you posting about sweeteners? And look, it comes down to, look, we all do it. We all want that hit of dopamine. We all want to know that we're growing on this. And we had to sort of say to him, look, you've done that for that reason. You've not done it to grow your business. And it was, we sat down and we were like, and he agreed. And he was like, yeah, look, actually, I'd rather make sure that the followers I have were the exact people that I want to help, the exact audience that I want. And it can happen to anyone, but I think it's really important that you just don't get caught up in this, how easy it is to grow shitloads of followers by just being a bit out there and a bit controversial with your take, or calling people out who believe one thing or another, knowing that they're going to bite because they're just that type of person. We had to sit back and say, how many of those people who watched that video do you think are actually going to buy from you? Those people that are commenting and saying, you're an idiot, you can't believe you've been paid off by Pepsi to say this. It's like, they're not interested, are they? And it's only going to get shown to more people with the same theory, right? Because that's how algorithms work. So it just was a bit crazy. But we've seen it across the board. Again, I don't mean to dig Steve out. We've seen it across the board with a lot of people who just, some people start working with us and they have a big following, they've gained loads of views, and we sort of say to them, look, start changing the content and start changing it more towards, your own personality, your personal views on things, not just chasing these trends. The second they see the engagement start going down, it's like a drug. They get pulled back to it. Oh, I'll just post that. I just need some engagement. Just want some engagement. Just want some views. And there's just this really kind of like misconstrued idea around where money comes from in a business, and people think it's in the views. They think it's in a following, and we're living proof that it's not. We are living proof that is not. It's about having the right following. And I believe not enough coaches are prepared to play a long, slow and steady game with their followers. Just to give you like anecdotally, for me, whenever I'm on my phone and I see a follower come in, if they're not an online coach, I remove them from my followers.
Same.
I click the button that goes onto their profile and I say remove follower. Now that might seem really odd, but it's like, because I don't give a shit. If you're not an online coach, I'm not wanting to help you. Not wanting to help you. I feel bad. The other day I had an old blitzer from years and years ago. I recognise his name because he's got the same profile photo. Started following me and I just messaged him. I was like, oh mate, just let you know, look, probably don't have a lot for you. Best off following Jake and Jake now. Removed him as a follower. Just don't need him. He maybe wanted to go into coaching, but again, I still argue probably best off going with Jake and following their stuff first, right? It's remembering like you're better off being selective with an audience rather than just getting an audience for the sake of it. I just don't think coaches quite understand what they're doing to their Instagram accounts by just trying to get that number up in any way they can.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it can, on the off chance, maybe help somebody's business if it's done in the right way. obviously, the chance of growing a business if you've got 100 followers, yeah, you need more followers.
Love that strawman argument. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what we're saying.
Like, yeah. But there's people on our client base that have got more followers than we will ever have. Ever. We will be retired without getting to those numbers. And certainly sometimes it feels like they just want to keep growing, or they focus on the wrong things, and they're overly obsessed with numbers and views and reach. I can't tell you what views and reach our stuff gets, because it's not important. And you go, well, it's not important to you now, like, because what, where you're at with coaches or whatever. No, ever. No, ever. We've never done that ever, because it's unimportant. You say the things that you want to say, you put it out there in the world, and you do it consistently enough over time, and the right people will listen. And because it's unequivocally you, it's your opinion, it's your passion, it's you that is leading from the front and showing elements of behind the scenes of your coaching, behind the scenes of your life, people buying into you, know, like, trust, all of that kind of stuff. You only need 50 clients, 60 clients, 70 clients out of the entire planet. So why do you need 500,000 followers? You're skipping so many steps. You're thinking like you'll get 500,000 followers and you'll get 5,000 of them on an app. No, you won't. No, you won't. Because the way that you're going viral is designed for the short-term boost of all of the same people that end up building no like and trust with you, because you're not doing all the things that are required for that. You're just putting out viral content, just to bait engagement, like Dan was saying. It doesn't make them want to buy from you. And what you think is going to happen at 500,000 followers doesn't happen. And do you know who it does happen for that has 500,000 followers? It's the ones that have built up that audience over time in the right way, that haven't tried to go viral, like that haven't looked for a hack, that have done it and ground it out. Like, let's just take a Mike Thurston or something like that with millions of followers, right? He hasn't sat there and done recipe videos or waving pounds of fat around or like having props come in or Hormozy style reels and stuff like that. What has somebody like Mike Thurston done? And again, he's an influencer and stuff like that, but it's still the same thing. He's walked the walk. He's been consistent for 15 years, where he posts every day, where he does multiple YouTube videos a week. He keeps himself in great shape, in aspirational shape for his followers, and I'm assuming that his fitness app probably does quite well because he's built up an audience over time, right? He hasn't just gone viral in a country and then just continue to try to hit viral videos. It's not going to have the same effect. And we regularly we called this out. We called it out 18 months ago, 12 months, 18 months ago. We said, we worry for people that are going viral now, because what we would hypothesize will happen is that there'll be the flavor of the week, which happens, right? You watching this now, you will find creators, as do we, where you'll follow the videos and you'll binge them at the beginning. You'll watch them and you'll be like, fucking hell, these are brilliant. I'll send it Dan, he sends it me, whatever. And then you just get bored of it because it's the same stuff. It's like the same stuff over again. Dan used to watch the fucking in with the glasses that plays football.
People's Pundit, yeah.
People's Pundit, right? Dan loved it. He was watching it all the time. It was making him laugh, blah, blah, blah. Do you follow him anymore?
No.
Doesn't follow him, right? Prime example, right, is that people get bored. So when you've gone for this kind of trendy style, virally style stuff, right, yeah, you'll get a load. But because everybody's doing it and you're making the same thing all the time, people get bored. There's no journey, there's no progress to witness, there's no business that's been built, there's no body that's been built, there's no behind the scenes of your life, there's nothing to actually latch onto and to be interested in, because it's the same stuff. So they get bored. And then what happens when they get bored? Either they unfollow or they don't unfollow, but they just don't engage with the content anymore. And we're seeing people with 200, 300,000 followers that are getting 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 views on a reel. So their engagement has dropped big time. So that's when numbers are important. So when we spoke about our numbers not being important, it doesn't matter because it's not affecting our business. But if we look at somebody with 300,000 followers and you get 4,000 views, you go, well, that is a red flag, because which 4,000 out of that 300,000 is it reaching? How are you ever going to build up any kind of know, like, and trust when you don't know what sections of your audience it's going to? Like, you don't know. Me and Dan will know that out of our 10,000 followers, that probably the same 1,500, 2,000 will watch our stories. And out of 1,500, 2,000 coaches, and they're not all going to be coaches, there's going to be people from before, but out of that number, we don't necessarily need to grow any more in terms of our account, because out of that we'll be able to monetize the clients that we need for the rest of our business. Like, that's it.
Literally. And again, like, come back to that, email list is obviously a big part of this as well, which is like people are going viral. They're just never building email lists alongside it. They're so focused on the followers. And again, coming back to other examples, I've got a client who grew her email list alongside her growth as she was growing her following, and I pushed her to it, and I made sure she did it alongside it. So she captured those that were really interested, got up to, I think she's got 10% of her following now on an email list. So what about more than that, 80 to 100,000 nearly on email list, right? And I've got others who grew and then decided to grow an email list, then decided to try and push it, and they probably get about a fifth to a sixth of those numbers based on the same amount of followers, because people aren't as interested at that point. Like you said, they're not seeing the stuff as much. Are not seeing it because they didn't engage with it in the last few weeks. They're not going to see anything brand new from them. It's far, far harder to re-engage those people. So when you take those people into something like an email list, or you have a YouTube channel and they start to develop deeper bonds with you, that's when the real business connections can happen, and you start making, I say, decent money. That's why a lot of people are here, but that's why you get a lot of clients, because you've made those connections through different channels of social media, different content formats, different lengths of that content. Whereas the people that have gone viral are just relying on very short, quick Instagram videos. And that's the only tool they've got in their toolbox. You speak to a lot of them. What your story views like? Oh yeah, about like 10,000. What, out of 500,000? 10,000? I was like, that's not a good percentage. Like, that is not a good percentage at all. What is it? 0.2%? 2%, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like 2% of people. And like, whereas we're getting, again, I've got 8,000, 8,500, something stupid like that followers, and I get like 1,600, 1,700 story views. That's the what to look at. For me, the story viewer to follower ratio is how you, in my opinion, can predict how easily it is going to be to monetize your audience.
How interested your audience are.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
How interested they are in what you do. And again, so the same with an email list. We've got now, based on our followers, some of them will be in fat loss stuff, but we've got 2,000 coaches on an email list, roughly. And we trim it all the time. Like, people that just don't engage, aren't interested. And we sat there with 320 people in a members group, 200 clients between us. Just shows you, you just don't need what you think you do, and the reason that we've done that is because the quality of our follower is high, because like I said, we trim it, we prune it as people come through. Does it look like a real follower? Yes, no. I've had this conversation with a couple of clients this year already. Started the year off and I'm like, right, I want to prune your Instagram, and they go, what do you mean by that? I go, right, let's have a look. You've got 1,000 followers, let's say, and I'm looking at your posts and they're getting like 4 likes, 5 likes. I'm like, can we improve content? Yeah, probably. But maybe I sit there and go, maybe your content's actually all right. Go into the list of 1,000 followers, right, and I look at the first 20 people in their list, because I can only see 20, right, let's say. The amount of people I go on there and go, right, this person's not got a profile picture, they've never posted, and they follow 7,000 accounts. What are the chances of your stuff landing on their homepage if they follow 7,000 accounts? Have you ever seen them comment on anything you do? No, right, remove them. Again, another one, like, it's like a shop in a city that they've never heard of trying to sell them gym kit, and they just followed you to try and follow you back. Remove them. Like, they're never buying from you, right? And there's an element of this where you kind of go, oh, yeah, but what if they would? I'm like, yeah, but what are the chances? The chances are so slim. Right, put the chances in your favor, remove them. Because then my theory with this is that, let's say you move that from 1,000 to 800, right? So you got 200 less, and I do it gradually over time. What if those 200 people that you've just removed were being sent your posts, were being sent your stuff, were being pushed your stories, but they never watched or engaged with them, so Instagram thought they were shit? I believe that the way it works is based on a percentage. So if you then had, rather than 1,000, you had 800, and you had the same amount of engagement, Instagram would look at that more favorably, because it goes, as a percentage, more people like this out of the followers, so we'll push it to more people. It's my theory. It's one of my theories I've had for a little while. I'm testing it out with clients all the time. And guess what? They seem to be saying it works.
What more have you got?
What more have you got?
So a little framework that I would use, and I've spoke about this on Instagram, and I've spoke about it with clients and members group and stuff. The way I would break it down is that I think that there's 3 different content types in my opinion, and I've broken them down to you, me, and them. Right? You is anything that's talking directly to your niche. So I'm giving you something. So let's just say Dan's an online coach, and I'm saying, here's why online coaches don't need to call DM, right? If I said something like that is directly for him. It's something that is niche specific for him. Me content. So again, obviously, it's probably less likely that somebody wants to see a full day of eating for me, right? But let's just say I'm in fitness. That's your days in the life, week in the life, training split, training session, full day of eating on a fucking mini cut, full day of eating, fucking low day, refeed day. Here's what I fucking ate in London this weekend, whatever, right? Full day of eating, my journey, my goals. It's me, right? That doesn't necessarily give the viewer any value per se. You're not teaching anything. You're just showing what you do.
Even elements of like your coaching within that, like why you believe certain things, your standards, the industry. I think that's where coaches, again, can talk about that side of stuff.
And then you've got the third type, which is them, which is my clients, right? So social proof. So before and afters, client case studies, video testimonials, maybe client wins if you don't have too many of the other things. So you've got those three types. Now, let's just say you post one piece of social proof a week, 3 you, 3 me. You're then getting a good blend of niche, you're getting a good blend of personal branding, and then you're getting some social proof to back it up, right? You're getting a good blend. Now, what people going viral is, it's all 7 is you. It's aspartame, it's carbs, it's bread, it's fucking burpees, it's you, and not enough me and not enough social proof. Because once that's died, like we've just said, once the interest has died and it's just the same topics, they're posting the same stuff, they're just reposting the same stuff. It's just the same thing, it's just the same voice. They've got nothing to follow along with. And what we used to do back in our fitness days was we would talk about starvation mode, right? For you, for the niche, we'd talk about starvation mode in our own way, in our own opinion. We'd make jokes. It wouldn't just be bland, boring stuff. It would be our opinion, a bit close to the bone with the content style. I'd make some, references that might stand out, a bit controversial, whatever. We'd talk about that starvation mode, but then we'd also do a vlog of a full day of eating, like as we're dieting, as we were getting in shape, as we should be as coaches, by the way, which is another fucking topic, So people would follow along that journey. They'd see us getting leaner, they'd see us getting stronger, they'd see us fucking what weight we were, they'd see us what changes we would make, they would see what we were eating, how we were training, they'd see what our life looked like, alongside the starvation mode stuff and the stuff, again, that's applicable to our niche, the fucking fat burner stuff or whatever it is, right? And then we'd back it up with social proof. That's all we did. And like, we didn't care that it wasn't going to hundreds of thousands, because we knew that the people that were engaging and watching that had to be, by definition, interested in us, because fucking half the content was about us. So of course they had to be interested. If somebody's coming and watching a YouTube vlog of you in London, of course they're interested in you. It's not just another fucking quick hacked together video with a really good hook and short transitions and shortcuts to keep people's attention. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. So, like, if it's me, that's the framework that you stick to. You, me, and them. Straight away, you go, right, let's break it down. And let's just say you do the me stuff, and you do it on a 2-week rotation, to make it really simple for you, and go, right, I have week 1 and week 2. In week 1, out of the 3 posts I'm going to make, I do every week 1, I do a day in the life, I do a training session, and I do a fucking weekly roundup, let's just say, throw it out there. Next week, week 2, I always do a full day of eating, my training split, and training and physique update. This week I've lost X amount of weight. I'm currently on a mini cut. I'm currently eating this amount of calories, like training and update mini cut. So you've got 3 each week, and then you just rotate through. So you're doing a day in the life every 2 weeks. So this rebuttal and this friction of, oh, it's just boring. Okay, well, it's not though, is it? Because somebody's not seen it for 2 weeks, but yet you're still getting enough me content out. Just rotate it through. That's what I would do. And then your you content, just think of 10 points and think of 3 videos or 3 pieces of content for each point. You've then got 30. And we've just established, if you're posting 3 of those a week, that's 10 weeks worth of content that you've got. That's 10 weeks. I could do it now. I could sit here now and go and pick out a topic, and I could show you how to make 3 posts out of it. But you need an hour to sit down and do that, to think of 10 topics that your niche might struggle with, 10, and think of, right, how am I going to say it in 3 different ways? You see us do it all the time with cold DMs, right? How are we going to say it in 3 different ways? Okay, so we might do a funny video with me in a sombrero, hola mate. We might then do baby reindeer, Martha, blah, 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 about cold DMs. We might do 3 things we never did to grow our business, cold DMs. We might do fucking this is Steve, got to 10k, not a single cold DM sent. You say the same things over time. All you've got to do is go, right, okay, what do my niche struggle with? Right, they fucking, I don't know, scared of carbs. Scared of carbs, right. How am I going to say that in 3 different ways? I could film a reel where I'm literally scared of carbs to exacerbate the situation. Like I'm literally scared to death of carbohydrates. Like the next one, I could do my personal experience of when I was scared of carbohydrates and then how that influenced how I ate and how I trained. Back when I was scared of carbohydrates, I used to cut them out in a week. My training performance would suck. I'd never make any progress in the gym. I'd get to the weekend, I'd then eat out, I'd overeat, and I'd feel guilty for doing so. So I'd eat a little bit too much and I'd cut them out again on a Monday and the same cycle would happen. Again, carbohydrates. It's the same fucking niche topic, but two different ways of showing you. Like,
then you use the social proof where you go, here's this client in photo shoot shape. Guess what? He ate carbs all the way throughout this just to prove that you can do it.
There's so many ways. There's so many different ways that you can do it. Like, you could do an informative one. You could do a ranty one. You could talk about low carb zealots. You could talk about Eddie Abu, like, if that's your niche. You could talk about anything. And you just need three. You just need three different ways of saying it. Just three different ways of saying it. Then you do the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. And that's it.
Yeah, and like, look, anyone who I've worked with who's been successful follows that same framework of like you, me, and them. If you go through it, it's exactly the same. One of the biggest problems that we face against people who've got a lot of followers and they go viral is that when you ask them to post social proof, they just go, it just doesn't go very far, never get the engagement. And I kind of always say that is a byproduct of how you've grown. So anyone I now who see is doing well and their followers are increasing, they maybe do get some videos that go well, I always say to them, right, I want you to post some social proof now alongside this. Oh, but no, I think I should keep the momentum going. No, I think you should post some social proof to show everyone you're a coach. And they like get panicked when I'm like suggest that slowing down the momentum of followers, and it's for that reason. That it's like, I want people to know that you're a coach that people pay you to get in shape. I don't want them to think you're some sort of fucking clown on Instagram that makes these videos. I want them to know that you're there primarily to coach people. And some people don't want to hear it. Some people do, to be fair, which is good. But I kind of go, like when I'm trying to think when good coaches that have gone big, like say Mike Thurston, for example, or Rob Lipsett's a good example. If he posts a social proof, I don't think it would get like, again, let's say on average, what I see for most people is they get 1,000 likes on a video and then they post some social proof and they might get like 12. I'm like, that's extreme, right? That's extreme difference. I don't think they'd get the same relative extreme difference. I don't think they would if they did that. They might get less because it always is going to get less. But that is the point we're trying to make, is that you have to keep posting that because people need to know that that's your job and that's what you do. And with people that go viral, we see that they don't do that. They don't do any of that me and them content. They just go all on, here's what you can do, here's what you can do. And bringing it back to Rob Lipsett and Mike Thurston, I would argue that people like that, who have grown a proper following, who do reach more people, who do it the right way, they post more of me content. That's the majority of stuff that they post is me. Because then I sit there and go, well, if they must believe you can eat carbs then, because they eat them all the time. Yep. And they're in shape. You don't even need to do the thing of like, here's why you shouldn't be worried about it. They just literally go, yeah, I used to be scared of eating them. Now look at me. I'm like this. Yeah. I'm a swimmer model and I don't eat carbs. Yep. They just do me content all the time. And people go, well, they must know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't believe it otherwise. It's why Eddie Abu, come back to him again. It's why he has the followers he has and why they're so less like cult-like, is because he literally does it. It'd be different, right? If he was sat there back, like smashing Krispy Kreme donuts going, yeah, guys, you should eat carnivore, like you really should. It's the equivalent of what some coaches are doing. They're like getting in shape, and I'm like, yeah, but you're not in shape. How can you help people get in shape? Like, the message doesn't happen. It'd be like Eddie Abu literally sitting there eating Krispy Kremes going, yeah, you need to go carnivore to lose weight. You need to be carnivore. If you listen to me, I know what I'm talking about. Go carnivore. They can't see the disconnect between it, where it's like, no, trust me, the me stuff is vitally, vitally important to this, because it is that authority piece of going, no, look, I'm telling you that you can intermittent fast and I'm not eating anything and I'm in the shape. I'm telling you that you don't need to worry about this and I do it because I'm in shape.
Again, you look at like Ollie Marchon and like Justin Canusi and people like that. Again, you'll never see them at a table with a loaf of bread talking about bread.
Yeah.
But
you'll see meat sandwiches.
Yeah, you'll see how they eat and how they train. And if you want to eat and train like that, you go and work with them. And go, it's easy for them because they've got loads of followers. Yes, but there was a time where they didn't have loads of followers, wasn't there? They've created it for themselves by doing the same thing. It's easy for them because they're ripped and in shape. Yeah. Elephant in the room, literally.
Yeah.
Like,
guess what? They weren't born that way, were they? Yeah.
And we mentioned all these: Justin Canusi, Ollie Marchon, Rob Lipsett, Mike Thurston. You go, what have they all got in common?
Yeah,
they're in shape.
Yeah,
they all show what they're doing, and people go, oh, if they eat carbs, well, I can. I want to look like that. I want to train like that. I want to do whatever. So we're not saying go full influencer. because the likelihood that that you look like one of those guys, right, is not very high, ourselves included, right? And B, the chances of growing an audience that's so big that you become an influencer, very, very low. So you do have to have a different approach, but you should be definitely taking principles of why their audiences are so bought into them. Like why they're, again, I mean, let's just take like Josh Bridgman, right? So like Josh Bridgman back in the day, I mean, I don't follow him, you know, I don't really see his stuff anymore, but by all accounts, I think he's got like 100,000 followers or something like that. I'm guessing, I don't see his stuff, but I'm guessing that it's been built up because of him being himself over time, as he always was, you know, over time, consistent on YouTube, consistent on Instagram, got in, you know, in great shape, and said what he believed in, showed what he was doing, and it's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. I can't imagine that Josh has, again, had a loaf of bread, and to know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Or struggling for clients, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but do you know what I mean? Just as an example.
Yeah, and the other thing as well, I think with that is like you just said there, you can't compete with them on an influencer level like that. But then I argue that you can give people the one thing that they can't, which is your time. So they will follow these guys, like, oh yeah, Rob Lipson never messages back, never replies to my stories, and whenever I reply to his story, you never get anything back. Well, you can. You'll give them that support, you'll give them that guidance, you'll give them that help, and that's why they'll work with you. Because if you get the best of both and they feel like they can ask you these questions, then they'll work with you. But like I said, there's a lot of success leaves clues thing with that. And I think that for me, when I look at this sort of stuff, I think you need to learn from that and take from that what you will. I just please do not get obsessed with followers like that. I just don't think it's well, I know it's not relevant and I know it's not useful, and also don't strawman the whole fucking, but I've only got 100 followers. Yeah, okay, probably make some better content then. That's what it says to me, is that it's just not good enough content. I believe good content gets seen by people. It gets shared, it gets sent, all that sort of gets saved, all those things do. And eventually you'll be where you want to be.
That's it.
We've done the CTA already, so there you go.
We've done the CTA, we don't have to do it at the end. We can just finish it. Just
nailed it.
Yeah.
Done.
See you on the next one.